Okay, so I'm driving away from my home where I hear the voices, or I've been hearing them and they've been pretending that they're outside. Now I'm in my car, left my car, sorry, condo, and I still hear the voices in my head. The voices I hear in my head, so it is the more that I feel comfortable and confident explaining that I hear voices in my head, okay? And I'm not like to me it is the least of my worries what I look like. I mean, as long as I'm showered, I have good hygiene. I'm not on drugs or anything of that nature, then I for me to be sitting here discussing the voices in my head isn't an issue. So to them, the terrorists talking in my head, it's for them it's a shaky. I mean, not shaky, but it's I'm making it clear I hear them in my head, and there are obvious records involved. So, if in fact they were to couple what I put out with what these classified records have on them, then there would be clear discrepancies. Plus, they'd have to prove that I'm not schizophrenic, and why didn't they bring it forward? And I've been saying it for years, and whatever. So all this is documented through my medical records, and the women voices in my head want to break down my confidence and make me feel insecure about discussing them. And for them, it's like a competition because I'm a woman, they're women, and they're the ones encouraging the men to murder using a telepathy weapon, talking in my head, torturing me to death. And murder could be shaving years off someone's life, it could be misuse of weapons, drugging someone, it could be all kinds of things. So and obviously with intent to basically destroy that person's health or whatever it is. So the voices in my head, the women in particular, they were afraid that the men would start to feel uncomfortable attacking a woman, right? Because I had this visual of this man. He's in front of the computer and he's crying, right? And he's like tears, and it's obvious like they're being sentenced to death. Of course he's gonna cry over that, right? Plus I'm a woman, plus I have children, plus this, plus that. So the women come into the picture, and this is how they handle, so that he doesn't feel bad for what he's doing. They'll sit there and act like them and I are in competition, or that I want them to die. Although, I mean, yes, if we're talking about sentencing them to death, but not to murder. I'm not a murderer. And so they'll sit there like, this piece of shit doesn't care if I die, doesn't care if I die, to the men that are sitting behind that computer that's talking directly into my head. And they'll cheerlead them on like, oh, I don't have kids, you stupid bitch, as if one of them is engaged whatever to one of the men that are talking in my head to say that if he gets sentenced to death, they can't have kids together or something. I don't know. Whatever little bullshit mind games they're playing with each other. And that to like motivate and encourage the men and make them not feel bad, especially when I'm so turned off by the women that I want nothing more than to make it clear that I want them sentenced to death, that it puts in the men's minds like I'm like not to have any feelings. Like now they can set aside their feelings as to what they're doing to continue to torture me, because now they're comfortable because the women have encouraged it. And the more adamant I am about making it clear that I hear them in my head, the more they think it's a competition between them and I. As if when they sat there to encourage these men and cheerlead them on using this telepathy weapon, as if they were just they're and sex appeal. I don't they're not going to disclose their identity with me. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they sound like. I don't know shit about them. They're clearly using voice prints. They're assigned voices. They're not their actual voices. They sound younger, blah, blah, blah. So these women are using voice changers and trying to like, haha, you're ugly, we're not, I have money, you're not, you don't, I'm intelligent, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. Your friends are going to think you're fucking ugly. Your friends are going to think, as if they're trying to twist my arm like, okay, I'll loosen my grip on abusing you, or I'll basically give them, I'll let them, I'll make sure the men let up, basically, if in fact you listen to me, the bitches, the women, okay, that are trying to get away with murder. They're talking in my head. Now, there are cameras all over this shopping center, okay? And if at all the voices I hear in my head are anywhere, okay, outside, they'd be captured on, especially in front of Albertsons, there's the camera. If in fact that anything that's going on in my head is, and they're not lying, they can easily just, any Central Intelligence Agency or any government department or anybody that oversees and audits these records can say, well, if you're not lying about the voices in Renee's head and she's not really schizophrenic, why don't you pull that record? Why don't you go pull those camera records and subpoena them and take it to court to clear your name? But the thing is, they don't. So they want me, like, honest to God, they want me out on the street away from cameras. Like, that is their biggest deal. Okay, they're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. Muslim has nothing to do with it. It's part of their identity. It is not their faith. Muslim people that are of faith are like, they're sweethearts. These terrorists are terrorists. The terrorists are one thing, whether they're Muslim or they're Christian, okay? And Christians and Muslims are another thing. They just identify as such because it's on their birth certificates. It's not because they follow the faith. They're psycho terrorists talking in my head. I just want to make that clear. And they think that by me explaining, I'm showing too much confidence, and they're upset because it's embarrassing to them, okay, to sit in front of their men, to cheerlead them on, to do something that will ultimately sentence every one of their friends, every one of their terrorist people in their organization to death, okay? After being so confident, and I'm sorry, it's being so confident that their involvement would actually make this, secure this, and really help destroy the confidence of the targets or people that are looking schizophrenic, okay, in the eye of the public, to the point that they don't want to seek medical attention, that they don't want to share that they hear voices, that they don't want to, they're so depressed they don't want to leave the house, or they don't want to leave wherever, that they, like, that is all these psychopaths are on. And the women think we're in competition. I have 2 kids. I do not have fucking time for a piece of shit terrorist bitch that's been talking in my head for fucking 6 years. If I swear to God, I swear to God, if these records come forward and finally whatever it is, the government agencies that's delaying them from, because I have made it very clear, I am just throwing up on these records. I don't give a shit about a terror. I'm like, okay, bitch, there are records involved. I am gonna make sure, I swear to God, that you can't fucking say not one goddamn lie. I swear to God, you're gonna be convicted for murder. I swear to God, you're gonna be convicted for what you said you've done: genocide, terrorism, money laundering, trafficking, property damage. I swear, I promise to God. And then endangering the entire, the public, everyone. I'm not playing with this piece of shit talking in my head. All I'm saying is, this is how I'm handling it. I'm putting it on here because there are men that are in much higher positions, men and women, okay, with much higher intellect than my own. And I do not have to sit here and worry about them handling this properly. What I need to worry about is what is within my reach. And that is providing enough evidence that these terrorists are talking in my head and not anywhere out in my surroundings. That is all there is to it. I swear, I promise, on everything I love, if I see those women in court, they are getting sentenced to death without a doubt. They think we're in competition. I promise to God, without a doubt. And now their dads are sitting next to their brothers talking in my head. And they're so mad that their daughters can't get to me and know what I'm saying, that they're more so than their brothers, obviously, and more so than their brothers' friends. Their brothers they're not going to sleep with them to have kids with them. And neither are they're going to move on and they're going to have families of their own. So the only people that are truly concerned about their daughter's welfare are their dads. So aside from their brothers are their dads. And then there's money involved, and they want to make sure that the women, the money that they trafficked and they laundered and they this and they and they all the fraud they did to grow their wealth, okay, isn't being it can't be basically taken or argued that it's someone else's. So they, like, the women for the fathers are more important in the sense of where the money is going, because it's their bloodlines, it's their this. They want to make sure everyone is being treated properly, blah blah blah. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense. The men are in the brothers are in it for the money. So are their dads, but their dads want to protect the women, and the women want to encourage the men, and it's just a bunch of sick shit. Okay, they're all on some sick shit. The parents, their adult children. Okay. And oh my gosh, these bitches they sound like they started probably in their mid-20s, and they've been doing this, though. How entitled they fucking sound in my head is unbelievable. I just can't even begin to tell you the women raising these kids, okay, the terrorist women raising their kids, are the worst examples on the face of the planet. Their kids need to be taken from them. They need to be put in foster care, and the women need to be sentenced to death. Okay? There is absolutely no way in fucking hell that these bitches should be able to sit wherever they're sitting to do whatever they're doing. They are clear terrorists. That is final. Anyways, I'm done. I'm here. I have to go in. I have a stitch looks infected, although the urgent care looks closed. I might have to go to another one. I'm done talking. It's not even talking. Before it was like, you're going to get sentenced to death, but I didn't understand in what ways I can help to produce records to provide evidence that they're terrorists. Now I've understood how, and there is no way in freaking hell I'm going to let up on these bitches. I swear to God, my foot is on their necks. I am done talking.